Hi everyone, thanks for joining us on WION World is One. We've got a breaking news update coming in this hour. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange has been sentenced to 50 weeks in jail. The 47-year-old was found guilty of breaching bail last month after his arrest at the Ecuadorian embassy. Remember, he'd taken refuge at the London embassy back in 2012 to avoid extradition to Sweden over a sexual assault allegations, a charge which he has constantly denied. Remember, Assange also faces U.S. federal conspiracy charges. Joining me on the broadcast right now, live from London, is WION's Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark. Mandy, good afternoon. What more details do we have about this particular sentencing? What exactly is he being charged of, and when did he breach his bail conditions?
Well, so his breaching his bail conditions was quite a while ago. This is historic, essentially, when those Swedish court case came up. He took refuge in the embassy and thus breaking those bail conditions, even though that case was dropped a long time ago because of Swedish law. They can't have allegations of rape more than 2 years, apparently. They dropped the case, but the Met Police kept it. So it's kind of a bit historic, but that is in many ways, it was unexpected that he would face this. What was more surprising right after when he was arrested was how quickly the U.S. Asked for his extradition. And that was what he claimed. He went to the Ecuadorian embassy because he feared that would be the case, that as soon as he was arrested for the allegations he faced in Sweden, that the U.S. would take the opportunity to try and get him sent to the U.S. to face allegations of those WikiLeaks information.
Right. And Mandy, looking at that case, I mean, the U.S. has expressed its desire to have him extradited, and that was the big fear for a number of his supporters, that since he has been arrested by the United Kingdom, that might be the next step. How exactly do we read this latest update in the larger picture of the cases against Julian Assange?
Well, I think in many ways it's separate too. So he will face, in many ways, similar to what anyone else faces when it comes to extradition, whether when he goes to the United States, will he get the same rights as the United Kingdom? And the United States has already said they will not go for the death penalty, because, of course, in certain states, the death penalty is still up and running. The UK would never send someone. So it has to really match the UK law. Of course, we're seeing extradition cases now this is more fraud cases, of course, with Malia and Nirav Modi. So it's a very similar process. They're double checking that they would expect to get the same rights to a fair trial that they would in the same country. It's not essentially putting that case on display in the UK. It's making sure that he would get a free and fair trial. If that's decided, then in all likelihood he will be extradited to the United States. But that is a separate case to what he's been charged with here.
All right, and the UK, turning out to be quite the refuge for famous men who are seeking, or rather being sought for justice in other countries. Stay with me, Mandy, a second. For a note for our viewers, these are live visuals on your screen. A number of supporters of Julian Assange holding up the placards reading "Freedom for Assange" and "Free Assange." Remember, the latest in this case is that he has been sentenced to 50 weeks in jail. The reference in this case, of course, is to a breach of bail conditions dating back to 2012. My colleague Mandy Clark pointing out that in many ways this is a historic breach of bail, which is being seen by the UK courts. They've said that he breached bail conditions when he sought refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy. So that is the update so far as Mr. Julian Assange goes. Let me quickly take one last question to Mandy on that note. Mandy, what sort of media attention is Julian Assange still gathering? Is he still hot news, so to speak, in the United Kingdom, or have things sort of died down ever since his arrest took place?
Well, I think Julian Assange is one of those characters that everyone has an opinion, either positive or negative. He's a bit, as they say here, like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. So, yes, he continues to have a lot of resonance because he really divides people's opinions. Some people feel like he was reckless with that information, with Wikipedia not protecting sources. Other people believe that it was pure journalism and a lot of atrocities came forward. So he is a divisive character, and that does play out in the British media. He is very much still a person of interest.
All right, and I guess things can't get more divisive than being compared to Marmite. We leave it at that. Mandy Clark, thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast this afternoon and bringing us up to speed on what's going on the Julian Assange case. Let's take a look also at some more updates.